on Zionts. I should have known that you would know exactly what beret to wear to a Burgh Vivant interview.
Oh, thank you. It's summer, so of course I wore the light color.
Oh, you're very
also
good.
have dark, and I have the winter berets as well.
So is this truly the mark of a producer?
I think it's the mark of this producer.
Yeah. I had to compete, so I brought my Burgh Vivant.
Oh, lovely.
What do you think?
Well, with these berets, which I really enjoy, you can do like back, or you could do Pantaleano.
Yeah.
What's his face? The actor Pantaleano.
Paul Prudhomme as well.
Right, and so when I'm feeling a little risque, I pull to the left, but generally
What do you think
I dress to the right.
What do you think says Brian Edward? What do you think?
Well, you've got that great hair. Look, I have little left.
So maybe show a little bit.
Show a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll hide all of my none.
All right.
There we go.
Kind of like this.
We look good.
Yeah. Producer of Front Porch Theatricals.
One of three, yes.
Yeah. Now, this is a relatively new company.
We are. We started in 2005. We did our first show in, our first production was in 2009 at the Kelly Strayhorn, locally written, Swickly written, and produced by my partner Bruce Smith and I, called Only Me, and it starred Chris Latta and Jim Scriven and Ted Watt and Christina McCann, and I was fortunate enough to play the father, and Mindy Rossi Stabler wrote it. We had a good time, and we didn't fail as producers, and so we thought perhaps we can do this going forward, and I hooked up with Justin Fortunato and Bobby Newmeyer to do Into the Woods and Ragtime, and then we decided that maybe we could help them out, Bruce and I, and so we thought maybe we can produce you, and so we did with Next to Normal and with In the Heights. And then we went our own way, and we've been producing, the three of us, with my wife Nancy ever since.
Yeah, you and Nancy are like the Luntz, or the Margin Gower champion of Pittsburgh. Do you get that?
That's kind of fun. I like that.
So how did the company get its name?
Well, that's interesting, because it came from my partner Bruce Smith. He's a Swickly a resident, and his children grew up here. His son, Peter Matthew Smith, starred on Broadway in 5 different shows.
I didn't know that was the connection.
That's the Smith.
Wow, gotcha.
And so Peter,
it's a common name, so I wouldn't connect it right away.
Peter did Mamma Mia. He was with Hairspray from the very beginning and ran that for quite a while. He took time off from Hairspray to go be Muthel in Harvey Firestein's production of Fiddler.
Yeah.
And he also, I think he made it to Broadway as a swing in Rent. He'd been out on tour playing both Mark and Roger.
I remember reading that.
And he made it to Broadway, and he played both of those roles on Broadway.
Wow.
And so Peter and his sister Amy, also an actress, they grew up putting shows on the front porch in their house in Swickly. He had a big wraparound front porch. And so Bruce said, when we had to come up with a name, what are we going to put on the banner? He said, well, how about Front Porch Theatricals? And I said, how about No Thumbs Productions? Because I wanted to use a paw print as our emblem.
What?
Well, dogs don't have thumbs. So No Thumbs Productions and a paw print.
But what's that have to do with theater?
Nothing. And that's why we chose Front Porch Theatricals.
I like Bruce's idea. I gotta tell you. The company in 5 years has established a great reputation, and you kind of do just maybe like 2 shows a season, right?
We do. Last year we started doing 2 shows a season. Before that we had done 1. We did Parade. We did... we did Parade, and then the next year we decided to expand to 2 shows, and we did the last 5 years, and
that's a sequel, though.
That's right. Jamie and what's his name get back together.
Yeah.
And then in time, but then we did The Light in the Piazza. So that was our second show of our first 2-show season, and then this year we're continuing that, and we hope. One day going forward, that we'll be able to do at least 3.
Yeah.
I think Bruce and I both have to retire because we're doing 2 full-time jobs at the same time, and that can be a bit stressful.
So it's a big part of the mission of the company to utilize Pittsburgh talent.
Absolutely. One of our foundation funders has called us, and we really like it, Pittsburgh's boutique professional musical theater company.
That's great.
And we love it. It is in our mission to engage Pittsburgh trained or Pittsburgh located actors to enhance them, to not keep them from leaving, because New York and LA and Chicago are exciting things to do and to achieve, but to always give them a place to land.
Yeah.
And maybe to keep them here for a couple years longer so they're actually doing the work and maybe being seen and doing something at Pict or doing something at the Public. You know, a lot of our actors thus far have gone on to greater things on Broadway, on NBC.
And again, the shows are always fantastic, and it seems like you're always choosing things that productions, musicals that are socially relevant.
That's what that's our goal. Is we don't have anything against Annie. Well, we may have a little bit against Annie.
That could be socially relevant.
Or Oklahoma.
Coming up, August 26th through September 4th, you have Floyd Collins.
Floyd Collins, our second show of our American Dreamers season,
which is a musical about a guy stuck in a mine. So they will make a musical about anything these days.
They will. And it doesn't have a real happy ending, although it has a glorious ending, because Floyd finds glory. It's written by Adam Gettle, the grandson of Richard Rodgers, who also wrote The Light in the Piazza, our production from last year, and very well received, and gorgeous music. The guy writes operas, and it's music directed by Doug Levine, who knows how to get everything out of both a band and then these superbly trained and actors. They sing wonderfully, and they're doing even better because of Doug's input. Floyd Collins is an interesting story because it takes place in 1925. It's a real story. You can Wikipedia it. If you have a really long memory, you may recall hearing it in 1925 over KDKA radio because it was broadcast back then. It was the first major media circus between the world wars. It's the story because it could be told to a national audience for almost the very first time. When Floyd was trapped underground, it became national news. Movie crews came in to film what was happening.
So maybe not a show for those with claustrophobia.
But they're in the spacious and comfortably seated Hazlitt Theater, and they will be able to breathe.
But you've got a very clever director, Rachel Stevens, that will make us feel like we are trapped underground with Floyd.
Rachel will make us feel that. I know that she will make us see the cave as Floyd discovers it. I don't want to give too much away, but the creativity of this of our set designer Lindsay Mayer and of Andy Ostrowski, our lighting designer, and Rachel in her vision of how she wants this to be. Front Porch is known for minimal sets. We're really trying to sell the story. We want the audience to bring its imagination as well. But we do have a bit of a set. It's unique, and I think as it is created in front of the audience's eyes, they will feel as if they are discovering a cave as well. So everything is fluid, everything is cohesive. And as we saw with our last production of the Spitfire Grill, where the set was on wheels and it became many different things, and always you knew what you were looking at, this will be the same. This will be actors making sounds on stage. All of the sounds of the cave will be made by actors. The actors will be part of the physical space and also helpers along the way. So it's different, but the way that Rachel sees these things, and the way that she both communicates them to her actors, which is perfect, and the way that she gets them to see her vision and then realize it, is exciting. Again, as a producer and as an audience, they're gonna be blown away.
Leon, it has been a pleasure talking with my beret brother. It's from brim to brim. I salute you.
I tip my chapeau at you. Well, I can't do that.
What do you do with the ship with one of these? You do,
beret?
Jiggle my beret.
I think you just kind of, yeah, we can do that. I learn as an actor. I learn constantly from everything that I watch, and I like to go to rehearsals and just absorb it. Speaking of absorbing, I'm a little dry. Do you mind if I have a bit of this martini?
That is why it's there, Leon.
I just feel like we're missing it.
Pace yourself. Do you yourself get to ever get out from behind the producer's desk and perform?
Well, I do as often as I can, but I don't perform for my company, for our company, because
they've got taste.
Well, they're a good judge of talent, and
So Floyd is trapped down there by himself.
All by himself.
Now, see, that would probably be one of the most terrifying things for me. Not because, I'm trapped in mine, but because I constantly need validation. Now, how do you think you yourself would cope with being in Floyd's situation?
I would try to either chew my leg off or hold my breath till I died.
Jeez, Leon.
I couldn't. There is no way